going on there. Yeah.
If it's kept this in, I'll insert like the little monkey somewhere.
Yeah.
I know, it's a good job Mason edits this in. Welcome to the Chronically Offline podcast. and I'm here today with my two wonderful guests. You probably already have seen Opal if you've seen the podcast. They do the artwork for the podcast. This is Alex. This is Opal's partner. And we are doing an episode today about like gender, specifically like non-binary and stuff, because I think it can be an interesting topic from different aspects from different people. Yeah, so do you want to just introduce yourselves and we'll get to it?
Hello, I'm Opal. As I said, I do art sometimes. And I identify as non-binary and I go by they, them pronouns.
Yeah.
Yes.
My name is Alex. Don't really do anything much. I play games. It's pretty cool. Opal's girlfriend, and I go by he, they pronouns.
What kind of, I suppose, set this episode off is that I saw, to give a bit of context, I saw a TikTok that I related to the other day that was talking about like non-binary and gender and things. And I think we've obviously, again, like I said, we've all got our own unique experiences with stuff, which doesn't invalidate the other, right? I think, yeah. And for like me, I to give context to people watching, I identified as non-binary under that umbrella for about 4 years. From like what we in 26. So like what? How many 4 years ago? 4 years ago. And it kind of like, yeah, I was like gender queer, all that kind of stuff. I went by they, them for a long time, which, most of the people around me were very supportive, which I'm very grateful for. My partner was also very supportive. And I don't know how to explain it without doing too much of a deep dive. I kind of sat with it at one point and I was like, is this me? Is this actually me? Am I comfortable with this? Or do I know in my heart of hearts that I'm a woman with me, myself? No one else, obviously, just myself. And it would just, I think all my life, I've never felt like I've fit in to being like society's norm of a woman. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. So I think for me, it was easier for me to be like, well, I'm non-binary then, rather than being like, hey, yeah, I'm just a cis woman. There's obviously nothing wrong with being a cis woman. So I think that kind of got me to where I was. And obviously, I mean, we can have issues with our identity if you've got obviously BPD as well. Anyway, so that kind of mixed in there for me. So that's just to give context to viewers, because I don't tell a lot of people, because I have had some bigots that have said to me before, being like, see, I told you we're all in your head, you're crazy. And I'm like, that don't invalidate anyone else's experience, mate. That didn't mean to say I didn't feel a certain way when I was non-binary. That doesn't dismiss that or anyone else's experience at all. So that's why I brought, we all agreed to say, hey, let's sit down and have a chat about it and get people's opinions and different experiences. So I appreciate you being on here today, and I'm sure this will be lovely because we're all different age ranges as well, which is quite nice. We're at like different ends of the spectrum as well, which is cool. So we've got a fair different amount of questions here. What was the moment for you two where you were like, this makes sense to me?
See, for me, it's not I woke up one morning and bam, I was like, I'm non-binary. It kind of started beginning with, right, so do you know when you're a kid and you're just like, whoa, I'm sentient now, and like these are my first memories? For me, that was 7 years old.
Yeah.
And I just remember again being like, I'm sentient, and obviously beginning to question who I was. And I didn't know what trans was back then, but I kept thinking, I don't feel like a girl, so I must be a boy.
Yeah.
And then that turned into, I was told that I was a tomboy then. And I always wanted to be one of the lads. And
Yeah.
I was like, ew, I hate pink and I hate skirts. I was a pick me, let's be honest. I'm very well aware of what I was. Okay. But it's because I was so like, I don't want to be seen as a girl and I don't want to be girly.
Yeah.
And I want to be one of the lads. And then obviously growing up a bit more, I'd say like in high school, I just began to question like, well, not being a woman doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a man. Began finding out that there's something in between, but didn't fully explore it until college when I think it was a mix of seeing like gender fluid people online. And also I talked to my therapist because I was struggling really badly with like my sense of self and who I was. So I had conversation about my sexuality and gender. So just had a conversation about that, and she was like, why don't you explore your gender? Like, do you feel like you're gender fluid? And I was like, yeah. So explored that for a bit, and eventually I was like, I like the umbrella term of non-binary because then I don't have to stick to anything, and it's a very fluid, open-ended term. So it just naturally progressed that way. I don't think there was a day where I just again it just clicked. It was just like I'm just going to explore myself a bit and see how I feel. Sorry, that was a very long
Not at all.
rant.
I think it was a good
You explained it
explanation.
very well. Yeah. And yourself, Alex?
I think for me, if I had known what non-binary was when I was about like 5-ish, I would have clocked that I was non-binary at 5. But I didn't know that was an option. I didn't know there was a word for it. So I didn't start identifying as non-binary until I was like 13, 14-ish. So I realized relatively early that I'm not a girl, not a boy either. Secret third option. Yay!
That works for me.
Yeah, I basically just never felt like I was a woman. And it was just very like clear to me that that was just the case, but I didn't know there was a term for it. I didn't know that everyone didn't feel this way. I thought everyone was just like cosplaying. They weren't. I was wrong. But yeah, I never really had like a full like epiphany moment. It was just like, oh, there's a word for it. Cool.
I remember when it came into more like conversation, the word like non-binary and stuff like that, because I was obviously a little bit older. I think I must have been about when I first heard it. I think I was probably like 16, 17. And I was like, what's this then? Because I was like uneducated and, I was like, what's this then? And obviously as I got older, I was like, oh, but yes, I was, like I said, I was in my earlier 20s when I identified as non-binary. Because, obviously gender and sex is different and everything. So, I mean, I've been out as not straight since I was like 18, about 18-ish anyway. So that never bothered me. There was only there's always a couple of people that are just dicks about it, but then they just piss off. But I appreciate you answering that. They were both is the word insightful? Insightful, is that the word? We love that.
Yeah.
We love that. Does it bother you too if people like use the incorrect pronouns? Or what's your like take on like pronouns and stuff?
It's annoying because part of me is like, it doesn't need to be a big deal. I've got more things to worry about. Like, it's not the end of the world. But also part of me is like, hang on, you've blatantly just disrespected me. And that's to people who I've said I'm non-binary, I use they them pronouns, and then they've used the wrong ones and not corrected themselves. That's the exception. If you don't know me and you've come up to me and like, say like at work, because I take phone calls and sometimes they'll be like, oh, I'm just on the phone to the lady, she said, I'd be like cringing a bit, but again, it's not the end of the world, we move on. But if it's like a friend, it's very different. And the only thing I say is like, obviously try, and if if you've got a friend or family member who is non-binary and you are not trying to change your language, then that's just your way of saying that you don't fully appreciate or respect their identity.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I said, it's not the end of the world. There's more issues to worry about, but it is hurtful in a way. It's like you don't see me as me. And I think for me, one of the biggest things is when people obviously say things like lady or she or Mrs. I die a little inside. I'm like, oh, because I just think you see me as a woman and that's all I am to you, and it is hurtful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. For me, it's very different if a stranger calls me she, because you don't know that I'm non-binary. Even though I feel like I look pretty queer, but you can still not like tell that, oh, you're non-binary, right? But if I've told someone, oh, I go by these pronouns, and they'd make no effort at all, it's like, oh, then you're a piece of shit. But if you don't know, or I can tell you're trying and you correct yourself, it is just taking a little bit, and that's fine. It's a lot about just effort and intent for me.
That's it. No, I agree. I was basically the same. Do you know what? Actually, because I always think I look quite I can present quite masculine. That's just, again, that's how I've been a lot of my life. So honestly, the amount of times I've been misgendered for a man, for like he him pronouns, and I personally, no, that's a big no for me. I, like, even if I was still non-binary, I'd be like, I'd rather you call me she her than he him, hey, because I've got, that's just
It's
me,
just not
just
you,
personal
innit?
yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so no, I get you. It's always good to have people around you again that advocate for you. Always surround yourself with people like that. I've had, I don't know about you two, because I know especially obviously you, Opal, you've been with your husband for years now. But like when I've
Yeah.
been with like ex-partners, they've been like, you're not identifying as non-binary with me. You're not doing that with me. Like, to be straight up, like, no way.
Goodbye. Good
Yeah,
riddance.
bye-bye.
Which I
Loser
should have done that.
behavior.
The way I went back like into the closet at the time.
Oh
Um,
no.
My Shayla.
My Sheila.
I went through a phase which I will try and get a picture to be inserted. I went like ultra femme. I went like, you like, whoa, like that was like me obviously trying to like disguise myself, wasn't it, and put a front on.
Cosplaying.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? But it's very important. And like you say, I think if they don't know and they're strangers, fair enough. All right, fair enough. But if it's a friend, a relative, or whatever, and you've told them several times and they're not even trying, then it's just like, well, why should I even respect their pronouns? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is a
Like,
big fuck off then.
like, I'll call you he,
Yeah.
him then if you're gonna say that. Then like it's a joke. And there's people that think that
Yeah.
they don't even have pronouns. Oh my god.
Oh god,
sure.
that does my nut in.
I've also noticed that they always are like, oh, it's not that big of a deal until you call like a man she her. Then they'll be like,
Yeah.
why could it's like, bro,
Yeah.
so you do get it.
Yeah.
You're just a dick.
So
Cool.
it does matter then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, I have a thing about like, technically, like, if Alex or Devon, my husband, I'm polyamorous for those who don't know. If sorry, I feel that's important context here. If either of those called me she, I could live with that, because language is just language at the end of the day, and as I said, it doesn't really matter. It's not the end of the world, and there's more things to worry about. But to me, it wouldn't matter if they called me that, because I know they respect my identity. Whereas if it's like a friend or an acquaintance or colleague, something like that, and they called me she, that's instant to me of like, oh, they disrespected me and they don't accept my identity and who I am, and I don't want to talk to this person anymore. I hope that makes sense. Like, language is just language. It's just how we speak. And, you know,
how it
quite,
ended.
Yeah, and quite often when you say like she, her, he, him, they, them, it's when you're talking about them, so you're often not going to be there. So it's like, fair enough. I don't care what language you use, really. It's
Yeah.
just if you come up to me, I've said, hey, I'm they, them, and they go, okay, girl, woman, she, her, then it's like,
Mm.
okay, you're doing that on purpose now
Mm.
to kind of be a dick now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
intent matters a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel for me it's also a little bit different if the person I'm talking to is also some form of queer, because then it feels like they get it in a different sense.
Mm.
Nothing
Mm.
outwardly against cishet people, by the way, in case I have to say that. I feel like it should be obvious, but maybe not. But
Well, the
just
people.
knowing that you have a shared experience to at least some extent also usually helps a bit.
If someone said to you, my family, my friend, or my family member told me they are non-binary, how can I support them? What would be your advice to them?
Educate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Understand what it is, what it means, and why it's important to them.
Mm.
And as you can tell by like the three of us explaining different stories, it's
Mm-hmm.
unique for everyone. So instead of, looking online and be like, oh, well, this one person said this,
Yeah.
sit down with that person and say, what's your experience? Why is this important to you? Obviously ask them what pronouns they go by. I know this is like an added layer to add on top, which might confuse some people, but pronouns doesn't always equal gender. Like,
Mm.
again, this might be very woke to some people, and some people are going to be like, what? But like, you can be non-binary but still use she, her, or he, him pronouns if you want to. Again, it's just language. You can do whatever you want. So that's another thing. Like, if someone says non-binary, you can still ask their pronouns because it might be something different.
Yeah.
And again, you just ask them like why it's important to them, and ask them what they want from you. Like, for me, one of my biggest things is like, obviously my mum's trying very hard to change her language and
Mm.
does my nutting. She'll go, oh, she, or dead name, and then go, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I'm just so used to it because, I've had you for, what, 26 years
Mm.
now, and blah, blah, and like, she'll make like a really long excuse and then
Mm.
correct herself. And it's like, just go, she, sorry, they, and move on.
That's
That's
it.
all I want.
That's all it needs to
But
be.
yeah, but that's for me. So how does that person, what do they want?
Mm.
So yeah, it's really just about communication. It's a journey, especially if they are coming out to you as like, hey, I think I am, or, I'm going to explore this. It's a new thing for them as well. So
Mm.
just be like, hey, how can I explore this with you?
Yeah.
I agree with what Opal said. Just ask questions, show that you care, show that you're interested, and show that you support this person
Mm-hmm.
in them figuring out who they are and so on. And also just asking what pronouns they would like is also pretty important because,
Mm-hmm.
as we said, just because you're non-binary doesn't mean that you automatically go by they, them. Some people go by he, she. Some people go by it pronoun. This just
Mm.
depends on the person. Just show that you care, show that you're interested, ask questions. Because I know for me at least, and for most people I talk to, they would rather you ask questions
Yeah.
instead of assume and then get the wrong
Mhm.
idea, and then it just becomes a whole thing.
That's it. Yeah, completely, absolutely. I'm in agreement with you too. Try and connect with people around in those kind of spaces, LGBTQIA spaces. There's plenty of charities out there. There's plenty of like influencers now that talk about like the non-binary experience and stuff as well. There's many different perspectives on it. Not one size fits all. And just be respectful, validate them. I mean, we talk about like validating people when let's say you get a diagnosis for something, it's only similar. If they want to say, hey, these are my pronouns, please respect that. This is how I feel and this is how I identify as. And if you obviously say, yeah, no worries, and you follow that through, that's going to validate them and make them just feel good. That just feels good, right? So I think it's quite similar. Yeah, no, I love that. That's a good bit of advice, that, and hopefully might be able to help some people.
I had one more thing to add on that one, sorry.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
So obviously only apply this where you can, but for me, one of the things that was like, oh my god, I never thought I could love my husband anymore, was when he said to his mother, Like, my wife is non-binary. They them pronouns. You will respect them, and you'll call them by their new name. And like he stuck it to the man, and I just stood there flabbergasted because, like, obviously I'm gobbier online than I am in real life. I get really nervous, and then like I'll stand there and I'll let people misgender me because I get too nervous, and also, you know, non-binary people get a bad rap because everyone thinks that we're gonna like jump down your throat because you assumed I was a woman. It's like it's not like that. Let's be honest. But yeah, it's just nice that if you're able to, you've got a family of friend who is non-binary, and they're being misgendered right in front of you. Again, where possible, if you can say, "Oh, sorry, they use they them pronouns. Can you please respect that?" Again, you don't need to make it a big deal. It's just like, just to remind you, sorry.
Yeah.
That's like what I think that's the best thing you can do, and that makes my heart melt when I like see a friend or family or partner say that. And I'm like, oh, because that is like the truest form of like, okay, they love me and respect me so much that they'll stick up for me. I think that's like the best thing you can do.
Yeah,
No,
I just want to add to that
yeah.
obviously only do that if the person is out as non-binary and comfortable with
True.
you
Yes.
saying.
Sorry. Yeah.
I feel like that should go without saying, but just in case.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know, I get what you mean. It's very validating. I know, for like example, me and Reese, we were visiting one of his friends actually down south, and he like corrected someone. He was like, "No, it's they them, it's they them," and I'm like,
You're like, oh my
yeah.
god.
So I love that shit. But no, we love that. It's to be let me tear up.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god, my heart just melted.
I know. Okay, so let's try a different type, but let's have a different type of question. I like this one actually. So in my journey back to being a cis woman, I had to like deconstruct like what a woman even meant, right? So how do you define your gender without using like binary anchors? So obviously like the binary was
yeah.
That's
tough.
It's a good one, isn't it? That
Without describing.
I'm just a guy, bro. I'm just a silly little Swedish dude.
Mhm.
Like, I don't really know what else to say about it because I'm just a person, innit?
That's fair. No, that's a valid response. It's because, like, with a lot of it, to be fair, with it, sometimes I just cannot let myself think about it too deeply. I don't know about you two, because I mean, obviously, kind of gone back to being just like cis woman and that. So it's like, if I start thinking deeply, I don't know, I just go down rabbit holes, and it's but it's not like in a healthy way either, because I then start like I start hating myself even more. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm at a freaking stupid like phase of my hair. I feel like I look like a little German boy in the 1940s at the minute. Like, do you know what I
B looks
mean?
like a little boy with his berries and cream.
Oh yeah,
Little
when you
lad with his
first
berries
cut
and
my
cream.
hair, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, to me, it's just I'm just opal. If it was up to me, I would just get rid of gender norms because that's silly. But again, if people identify as cis, I don't get it. But then again, you might not get me being non-binary, and that's okay. We're just different. That's cool.
I'm a big believer in you don't have to understand something to respect it.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's very true.
That's true. Absolutely. No,
Just
absolutely.
just be respectful, dude.
Yeah,
Lock
like
in or something.
I'll never fully be able to understand the experience of, let's say, a trans woman, but that don't mean I can't respect them. At the end of the day, they're still a woman to me because it doesn't affect my life. Like I've said many times with stuff, at the end of the day, hey, you do you, mate. Let's have a pamper night. I don't give a fuck. Like,
Hell
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Again, good takes.
Yeah, I just don't know how to do it without. You said like without describing
It's hard,
the
isn't it?
binary. That's why I'm like.
But no, I think just being you.
Yeah.
I think honestly, take away a lot of it and just be. That's what I have to tell myself. I think, honestly, a lot of times, because sometimes I do want to be like ultra femme, and then sometimes I just want to be more chill. And if I'm more chill with my looks, this is it. This is it. Go kitty. More chill, and I can look more on the masculine side, and I don't help myself with having like super short hair, but we are getting there. Give me 2 years, right, everyone, when I've got my long
Yeah.
hair back and it's over for
Right.
everyone.
You're gonna be like, hell yeah,
What?
sorted.
Yeah. I'll be getting a
Okay.
wolf cut. Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, let's go.
we'll twin, we'll twin.
So, and I'll get rid of this. We'll be snatched. I'll get rid of these like wrinkles and stuff, and we'll be
Oh,
snatched.
sorted. You get some Botox.
What was your? I'll ask you. What? Because obviously we got kind of lost in translation the other day. The way I fucking shit myself, that I thought I'd proper fucking. I thought, honestly, I nearly even went out of my way to message Alex me. I thought, oh no.
Oh
I thought,
no.
Oh no, where's Shayla?
I was like, oh god, shit now. So it was like,
Right.
but
We were just discussing because I didn't know how I felt, and I
yeah,
didn't want to, like, past me would have jumped straight down your throat. So I was trying to be
Yeah.
like, right, how do I feel? And big
Yeah.
believer in first and second thoughts. My first thought was like, oh my god, rah, and then second thought was like, no wait, I know Izzy, that I'm
yeah,
just being dramatic.
no,
We'll talk
it's
about this.
Yeah, and then we talked
exactly.
about North Korea.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will not.
Here we go.
Don't get me on a tangent, honestly. North Korean supporters, man. What? How
They're
dense
fucking
have you
weird,
got
aren't
to
they?
be?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my god, there's this huge like leftist TikToker, and she's like, North Korea is like utopia. Are we for real?
I commented on it. It was like, please come on
Oh
my
my god.
podcast. I was like, I'd love to talk to you. Come
Yeah,
on
it's
my
fucking
podcast.
weird.
oh
It's like,
dear.
are we
Well,
living
going
in
back
the same
to
reality, bro? The fuck? Sorry.
no,
Yeah.
no, it's completely fine.
Sorry.
They are not. They are not living in
No.
the same reality.
No.
So obviously, because I saw that video and I did relate to it a bit myself, just more so how I see myself on like self-esteem and stuff like that. So that's why I think I shared it round because I was like, it's more so of like, I wonder what people's takes are on this. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, this resonates with me, but how do other people feel about this, right? So like, because I'll be honest, when I first like went and like told Reese, I was like, I sat him down and I was telling him I'm a cis woman now. He actually thought I was going to come out and say I was a trans man. I'm not joking, not in a bad way, nothing like
Fair
that.
enough.
I don't
Yeah.
really,
Just,
Yeah.
but I know that's because it's how outwardly I can present myself. I think a lot of the times,
Yeah.
but it's just naturally how I am. I can't, you can't explain it how your gender is and how you present yourself, in the sense of like you don't know where it's come from. It's just there, isn't it? Right? It's just an organic feeling that's progressed through your life. And like my mum, she'd always like fucking say to my relatives, and I don't like, I mean, I don't like it, but she'd be like, "Oh, Izzy always looks like a man. Why does she always look like a man and a bloke?" And I'm like, this is just hello.
It just is, bro.
I'm
like
just
Devon's mum
existing.
would always say to him, like, you need to cut your hair, you look like a girl. It's like, no, it's just hair, bro. Not everything has to be gendered. That's
And
one of my
also,
biggest things about
that man has a
gender.
full beard. What are we talking about?
Looks like a woman.
What are we talking about?
Oh dear.
So weird. It's like my mom would. She still gets on my ass being like, "Oh, you should wear makeup to this like event we're going to." I'm like, I don't want it today, bro. And she's like, "Bro, can you go
My
away?"
mum used to be like that. And then your parents will give up with you with that eventually because my mum
Like, fuck.
doesn't even
no.
touch. I mean, obviously, I don't live at home anyway. I've not done for years, but my mum would not anymore because she knows she's just not going to get anywhere and I'm going to shut her down immediately with anything. Nah, get fucked. I've seen your choices in ex-husbands.
Tell him.
No way.
Clock it.
So,
What are we talking about?
I feel like we've done proper. Like, to be fair, we've answered a few questions, but we've gone into a decent amount of detail. I feel like we've given good advice. There, there is charities out there. Everyone, obviously, unfortunately, even in the Western world, they're clamping down on stuff now. Shit, but there is still charities out there. Vote Green. vote green. That's really that's about all we have going for anymore now. If you want it to be, vote progressive. I mean, I voted green in last election when Labour won, but I thought I knew they were going to win anyway, so I was like, I'm going to vote morally green. But we will see. They are gaining popularity lately, which is good.
Yeah.
They are climbing. So
where I live, what do you call it? Like my council, the MP is green here. We voted in Greens.
Love that.
Got a chance, yay.
Cross
Side
fingers.
tangent. I didn't know until after I'd been like openly non-binary, come out at work and everything, that I found out that being non-binary is not recognised in the UK and it is not a protected characteristic.
No.
Which, if you don't know what that means, it means I could get fired for being non-binary and they don't have to give any other reason. It's not protected. But if you were like gay or something, that's protected. But non-binary is not classed that way. But what is funny is that I'm legally mixed, so MX name instead of Mr. or Mrs. So that's allowed, but it's still not legally recognised. So yeah, I didn't realise till after. Thankfully, my work is very welcoming. Like they've even like told people off for me for misgendering me, which is very nice to see.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm just very lucky that my work is very open about that. But I just wanted to say to other people, it's a sad world and we shouldn't have to do this, but you've got to be careful sometimes about who you're telling. Which it's a shame. We should all be able to be open and honest, out and proud. But obviously your safety and, to a lot of people, a job is a lifeline. I wouldn't eat or have a roof over my head or all of these plushies if I didn't have a job. So yeah, I'm just lucky that my work was very good with handling that, because technically I could lose my job just for being non-binary, which is not fair. It's not right.
No.
Like, as sad as it sounds, it, in my head at least, it makes a bit more sense that it is like that for like polyamory and stuff. But you'd think that non-binary people would be at this point, but apparently
I can't
not.
remember if trans is. I feel like it is.
Sure hope so. It'd be kind of embarrassing if it wasn't.
I think it is, because you can legally change your gender to the opposite, but you can't legally change your gender to non-binary, unfortunately. In the UK, this is. I don't know about elsewhere. But yeah, and I just wanted to say this because I didn't know that till after I'd shouted it to everyone, and then I was like, oh shit, I should have been a bit more careful. So I just wanted to, if someone out there didn't know, and just to be careful. And this is why it's also important to not out people who are not ready to come out, and you should never force anyone, because they might get disowned, they might lose their job, they might lose friends. You never know what could happen.
Yeah,
and
it could
you've just gotta
unfortunately
let
be a
them guide
safety
it.
risk all over.
Yeah.
No, I agree. You got to be just try to do it things at your own speed. Just think about where you're at in life. Is it going to affect you negatively with certain stuff? Yeah, really.
The most important thing I wanted to talk about, if that's okay, was
Yes.
about between gender, sex, and expression, and how they're three different things.
Yeah, go right ahead.
And yeah, I think it's quite it matches up with what I'm about to say, because you've been saying throughout this whole thing that you are am I right in saying a masked woman?
I can.
So,
I can. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you can sometimes be a woman then, or
Quite.
present that
I can be quite. Is it androgynous?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can be quite androgynous. Yeah.
So, for you, because you are cis, that means your sex matches your gender. So your sex is female, which quite often, at least I find non-binary people using this term a lot more, is AFAB, so assigned female at birth. So rather than saying you are female, it's a lot better to say AFAB. And I'm very outwardly, I'll tell people I am AFAB. I was born female at birth. There's no hiding that, let's be honest. And even though I'm very proudly non-binary, I'm still proud that I grew up with woman experiences, and I was born a female, and I went through the hardships that come with a woman.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah. Sorry, because it was International Women's Day yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I still feel like, AFAB non-binary people should still be able to celebrate that, because again, you've still gone through that, and I think it's good to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
I was female. I do acknowledge that. I don't try and hide it.
Yeah, like you have the lived experience of a
Yeah.
woman
Mhm.
before you came out.
That's
And
it.
like just because you're now identifying as non-binary doesn't, no one can take that experience away from you. And
Mhm.
even though I am out as non-binary, I still get treated as a woman by most people, so I still have the same experience as this woman would.
Going back to what I was originally saying, I keep
Yeah.
going off topic. I'm so
No, you're
sorry.
fine.
So yeah, so being AFAB, that's your sex, and then being cis means your sex and gender match up, and then obviously AMAB is male at birth, and then obviously intersex would come under that. So that's to do with like what you're born with, your genetics, chromosomes, if you want to get into all that, and body parts, and then gender is how you identify. So obviously you can be born a female, but your gender is a man, so that means you're a trans man. Again, trans just means that you don't your sex doesn't match your gender. That's where non-binary is. It's a gender, not a sex. A lot of people get that mixed up. They are two different things. So as I said, I'm AFAB, but I am non-binary. That is my gender. And to also explain binary for those who don't know, so being a man, that's one end of the binary, and being a woman, is the other end of the binary. Non-binary is
You're not
somewhere
there
there.
in
It can fluctuate. It's a spectrum, or you could even be completely off it. You could be agender, whatever you want. I like to use the term non-binary because I said it's not rigid. It's fluid, and I change day to day. So it's just easier just to say non-binary because it's somewhere there. I don't know. The third thing, and that I'll always explain to people who ask me questions about, I get asked, why is it important that we use they them for you when you look like a woman? And I admit I look like a woman. Let's be honest. I don't try very hard to hide that. But that's because I'm a femme non-binary. I'm femme presenting. Yeah, somewhere between androgynous and femme, but quite often, I do like my skirts. I like my makeup. I like to do girly hair sometimes, that sort of thing. And Alex here would describe himself as masc, or somewhere between androgynous and masc, I'd assume.
most of the time.
Yeah. So again, it's sex is different to gender, and so is expression. And like you said, you're a cis woman, but you can sometimes express quite androgynous or masc. That doesn't take away from what your sex or gender identity is. They are separate things completely.
Yeah.
And like I've even had this conversation with my mum, because she was like, "Wait, am I non-binary because I dress like a boy?" I'm like, "No, you don't have to be.
No.
Do you feel like that?" And she's like, "No, I'm a woman. I'm proud to be a woman." I'm like, "Okay, then you're a woman."
Yeah, I've also seen. Oh no, you continue.
No. I
Okay.
was just rambling. Go ahead.
It's like when, I don't know if any of you have seen this online, but I've seen it quite a bit, where like people will just assume that femboys are trans, even though they are just still men that just like to dress feminine, and that's completely valid. I also want to touch on dysphoria a bit, because not all non-binary people experience dysphoria. Not all trans people overall experience dysphoria, but a lot of us do. And it's not, for me at least, it's not the same from day to day. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I want to wear a skirt, I want to wear makeup, I want to do something like cute and girly, right? And sometimes the thought of wearing like a dress or a skirt makes me want to throw up, because I'm like, that is not me. That is wrong. I want to crawl out of my skin, get me out of here. And vice versa. So it's just,
it's a wide spectrum, isn't it? Because I can feel quite similar as well, actually. And I can be like, nah, man, I am not touching that today. I am not wearing that. That is no. But then sometimes I'm like, Yes, I'm like, yes, let me dress up as a goth bimbo. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. Like
You know, that,
it's a
yeah.
spectrum,
for sure,
and
absolutely.
it doesn't have to be the same every day. It can vary.
I
Like
mean, I like to put,
non-binary isn't like a one size fits all type thing. It's very varied.
it's
And I feel
like,
like a lot of people, oh, so sorry.
no, it's me. No,
This is
it's
like the
me.
fourth time now. I'm so
Oh, and
sorry.
oh, and Go on.
Sorry, it was
I
my
feel like a
fault.
lot of people try to pull like a gotcha on non-binary people, being like, well, yesterday you felt like this, and now you feel like this.
Mm.
And I feel like it's important to just remember that it's a wide spectrum. It's gonna vary for most people. It's not a one size fits all type thing.
Mhm.
Being non-binary is very individual in a sense. I feel most queer identities are very individual in a sense because you're a unique person,
Mhm.
so your experience is gonna be unique to you.
Exactly, exactly, and it's like, like what, like Opal and Mesa. We were talking about a creator, let's say, the other day,
Uh-huh.
and I think a
Is
lot
this
of
who I think it is?
people, it could
I
be,
told you about it.
yeah,
But yeah.
and it makes me actually think, because people like to get on at people with BPD for like black and white thinking, when I think a lot of the general population actually have black and white thinking, because you think that like gender and sex and expression or whatever is just black and white thinking, but it's a lot deeper
Yeah.
than that. It's a lot different. It's a lot, it's not is the word, it's not linear, or it is
Yeah.
linear,
Well,
it
it's not.
moves.
Yeah, I'd say it's not. Yeah, I said, like Alex said, not a one size fits all. The way I think of it is, it's like when you get a Barbie doll and then you get accessories, and then you'll buy different accessory packs, and one day you dress one way and the next you dress a different way. But at the end of the day, it's still Barbie.
Hmm.
And that Barbie can use whatever pronouns it wants to use. It can, you know, it can be Sailor Barbie or Businesswoman Barbie or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's still Barbie.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I agree. I just want to say a big thank you to my guests today. I will put their socials somewhere. Yeah, and this has been the Chronically Offline podcast. I'm your host, Izzy. And if you want to see more content like this, or if you want to be on the podcast, come talk to me. If you have a different opinion to myself, and you can, you have the mental capacity to have a decent conversation with me and not debate with me, then come on the podcast. You know what I mean? You're more than welcome